My dad found me gasping for air in my bed. I'd taken 97 morphine pills for an overdose.
For as long as I live, I'll never forget the day I found him. I mean, it was, devastating. And when the doctors, they told us, several of them said, your son is going to die. And I knew how I found him. I mean, it wasn't like it was a surprise, because it was bad. I mean, he was out. He was barely breathing. It was in his bedroom, and it was a completely horrible scene.
Before I took the pills, I was like really frustrated and angry because the voices in my head were telling me horrible things about me.
My faith is, even though I thought it was great before, is 1,000 times stronger. You cannot see what we saw and not believe. You cannot. He was gone. He's here. He says he doesn't have any voices, and I believe it because I know what he looked like and sounded like before, and there's no way he could lie about it. I spoke to God and I said, if this is what we get, I will accept this. I'm just thankful he's here. But the gifts kept on coming, kept on coming, day after day, week after week. Everything I specifically prayed for in his growth from that point happened one step at a time, and I just witnessed this unfolding, and it was amazing. It truly is a miracle.
Describing my time with God, I would say it was beautiful. It was miraculous. It seemed like a miracle, like undeniable miracle.
And on top of all of that, his voices are gone from the schizophrenia.
The final thing we prayed for.
That's right. And he has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I am like the object of that humor, but it's really not that funny when you think when he came out of his coma the first time. I mean, he came out of a coma and then he went back to sleep for a long time, and then he came out of it again. The first time he came out, with the way he described heaven was like a really cool place. And the way that he talked about it was, that's what he said. Heaven is a awesome place. It's beautiful. And he said that God is a pretty cool guy. And
he said he loves me so much.
Right, he loves me so much.
Most love I ever felt in my entire life. Just looking at him, I could feel the love.
Said the love is so intense. That's how he described it when he first woke up. The love is so intense. But he was sad at the same time because he was in this magnificent place that was beautiful. He said the colors were so bright and beautiful, and God is an amazing being.
Out of reach of God's love is pretty impossible because he loves everybody the same. Like, whenever you get to heaven, you'll just by looking at him, you'll see how much he loves you.
He said that God said, I'm not ready for you yet. That's what Adam said to us when he first woke up. God, if I were speaking as in Adam's voice, God told me that he's not ready for me and that he's sending me back. And then he woke up.
Sometimes I would just start crying because he kept telling me that I was one of his sons. It was like, you're one of my sons and I am your father. And it made me kind of break down a little bit. And so just look at him and you'll know that everything was worth it. Whenever you get to heaven, you'll be like, oh, my whole entire life, even though it felt hopeless, it is everything that I went through was worth it because I got here.
How did we feel when we first got the news that we could cancel the funeral? That very morning, Joe's sister and brother, picked out a casket, picked out a cemetery plot. We spoke to hospice. She was making arrangements with us. She forgot to give us some paperwork, and she walked into the room, and he was awake, and she said, "Oh, I guess you don't need this anymore." And I said, "I can't believe this." It was amazing. The thrill that goes through you, I can't, there is no describing it. The joy of, we were on such a roller coaster. We know what it feels like to lose a child, because in our minds, he was gone. And it's not a feeling you would wish on anybody. It's horrific. And yeah, the joy was just like, I can't believe this. I'm yelling in the halls.
Well, the hours that followed, just the things that he started saying, and we ran over to our neighbor's house. They're very good friends of ours, and we got them out of bed and told them, "Adam is talking," and they just, what? He's talking. They were there that evening when, when we took him off of life support. So, it was very sad. So we went from devastation to complete and utter joy. The joy of the miracle is immeasurable. There's just no words to describe what God's hand has done here. So I think that the point of this whole thing that God is trying to make is that I am alive. I am here. You don't have to worry.
The reason, you have to think why did all of this happen? And Adam wasn't ready to let anybody in before all of this happened. And I think that this was God's way, especially the second time he was out, just letting him heal. It looked bad because his body was, devastatingly small and fragile. But during that process, his mind was healing. Little did we know. And I just think this whole thing, we just have to look at it as it was a gift. This whole 3.5 months, almost 4 now, it's been a gift of healing, so that Adam can see what God has done for him and what life is all about. And he can move forward and hopefully help other people through that experience.
Oh, the doctors told me I wouldn't be able to walk, but now I can walk. They told me I wouldn't be able to speak, but now I can speak. They told me I wouldn't be able to see, but now I can see. They told me I wouldn't be able to clap my hands, but I can clap my hands now. They told me that I would have to be on dialysis because my kidneys were failing, but my kidneys work fine now. My liver was failing, but it's back to normal now. They told me I wouldn't have any memories because I had too much damage to my brain, but now I have short-term memory and long-term memory. So, it is pretty much a miracle. My name is Adam Patrick Custin the First, and on November 27th, they told me I was going to die, but I'm alive. So it is a miracle.
I told his mother, make sure you communicate with him because he can hear you. He's a spirit that's trapped in a body, and he can't communicate with you. He's alive. He's alive.
Oh, and I love life now.